Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're about to start round 2 between Ultimastrike and Tin in the semifinals for SGL 2025 Mystic Quest Randomizer. I'm Fried Potato, joined in the booth again by Possumorpheus Possum. How was your break? How are we doing?
It was good. I am now a hydrated marsupial, and that's a happy marsupial. So we're doing well. I hope everyone else is doing well and enjoyed their break. Our runners, I'm sure they enjoyed it as well. They are going to get started here very shortly, probably 30 to 45 seconds on your screens. It's going to be coming right up, and we're going to get to game 2. Ultimastrike did take game 1. I will say from the race room, just some inside information for y'all at the end of race 1. 10 was not happy with their play after the first game and is showing some motivation to try to play better in game 2. So we will see if they can do that to force a game 3. Some notable stuff from game 2. All the companions will learn Meteor at some point. None of them will learn White or Flare. So anyone is technically viable. Realistically, Kaylee and Phoebe are going to be the best for this particular seed. The Sky Fragment count is 27. Notable resistance shuffles. Silence goes to sleep, so if we don't find a Dragon Claw, we might be able to make some hay in the refights with that. Stone comes off of sleep, which doesn't really do much for us. Fire is off of Bomb. Earth is off of Holy, so Meteor and Flare are both unresisted again, as is White. So runners in a pretty good spot, all things considered. Claw start, Tristram start. Tristram's fine to start with, but our runners are going to look to get rid of him at some point.
Yeah, Kaylee has exited level 10, so I imagine if they see her, they're going to be grabbing her early. It's always nice to start with some damaging spells, like Tristan comes with here. And again, a claw start. Second game in a row with that claw start, but we do see Wintry Cave and Pazuzu's, and I'm going to guess that left blue dot is Volcano. If it's not, I don't know what I do, to be completely honest. We almost always see Volcano in the starting area, and we've got a pretty easily accessible Phoebe. Unfortunately, doesn't have a lot to start with.
Yeah, so Tristram starts with Meteor at level 6, which is now already. Phoebe doesn't get it until level 16. She does pick up Exit at level 14 and Cure at level 10 and Blizzard at 13. But she's not going to have much for the first couple fights here, whereas we can just use Meteor right away with this Tristram. So it looks like we are going to go with a Tristram on 10 side and a Phoebe on Ultima side. So a little bit of divergence here with companion choice early on.
Yeah. I kind of get that. You don't have any AoE outside of that Meteor now, and these enemies aren't going to take terribly long to deal with just some melee attacks out of who you do have. So maybe just hoping that you don't need what Tristram can have early, and that Phoebe comes in handy later when you don't need to return to pick her up once she's actually useful. 2 swords. Or at least a sword.
Yeah, the issue with Sword and Claw is that it opens up very awkward checks. You really want that Bomb Claw combination, or just like Axe X, like X being anything is fine. Sword and Claw is particularly weird and fairly limiting on what you can get to and do. Not to mention it also means you have no AoE. We do see a River Coin first here this time, as opposed to last, which is what we saw previously. So for our runners, they get to explore different territories in different orders this time around.
Yeah, we'll see how loaded the River Coin region is this seed once we get up there and get a peek. Okay, lots of blue dots in the mine for sure up there. So that's probably a level forest and a live forest, although we do have False Basin floating around there with only a couple checks and usually faded by the runners.
Yeah, it looks like Gaia armor early in Pazuzu's tower, always nice. It looks like a bomb door here. So yeah, we are limited on this side of Pazuzu's tower very early. So we're gonna have to have the rest of floor 4's doorways lead us somewhere.
Yeah, you almost. I think if I was the runners right now, I'd almost prefer like a very quickly blocked Pazuzu's tower,
Right.
so that I don't have to spend a lot of time there. It's not quick to navigate, and without exit, it's not going to be quick to leave. You know, the further you get in, the further back you're going to have to walk, most likely, especially if it's one long path that you have accessible to you.
And these trees very awkwardly having blind, with Tristan missing his first attack. Not helpful either on 10 side. Ultimastrike gets a 2-stack, which is going to get them in and out of this fight very quickly by comparison.
The wake water, all right. Could be interesting. Unlocks that frozen area behind Aquaria region. We did see some interesting stuff there last siege. The ice pyramid notably locked in that region. So, yeah, step for step for the runners, although getting different encounters, which is going to affect how quickly they get through here.
Also going to impact levels. You know, while these are fairly slow, fight-wise, they are also the types of fights that you want those early 3-stacks if you don't miss, because that helps you gain levels. Or like this 2-stack here, instead of just getting Behemoth, you want this Skeleton and the, I guess it's a Minotaur, Behemoth, whatever it is. You want that 2-stack even though it takes a little more time, because that early XP is very relevant.
Especially, and almost even more so on Ultimastrike side at this point, because he does have Phoebe with him already. So if he happens to hit that level 14 range for her, which it would be probably a stretch, but certainly possible, you know, being able to exit straight out instead of re-walk could save some time. And really, the sooner you get exit, the better.
Yeah, we're not going to get to exit in Pazuzu's tower. There's just not enough stuff to get 4 more levels. But we do have Cure on Phoebe as well, which is nice early on, and really nice later as well. I think part of this, as far as Ultimastrike is concerned, is simply like, I never have to think about getting another companion ever again. I don't have to check anything. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to take this Phoebe. I'm going to play the game with Phoebe, and we're just going to call it good. And, you know, if you can turn your brain off entirely from an aspect of the game, that can be quite a benefit, to be completely honest, and just say, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, not having to take time out to check those extra spots where, you know, companions might be that you don't otherwise need to go to. And yeah, just that peace of mind, right? One less thing to focus on. These seeds have quite a bit going on. So each thing less is a benefit to the runners, I think. All right. Grab some seeds before moving on. Makes a lot of sense. Plenty of money to buy some.
Looks like 10 fully exploring Pazuzu's tower has all the knowledge now of where these different things are. But Ultimastrike was much quicker getting out. So even though they orphaned 2 rooms, it's not going to punish them whatsoever.
Abadome is also behind that river coin. And Ultimastrike showing off the hint system. Got a hint for the Dragon Claw, which is in, I believe it said Level Forest. I'm not sure which box it said in Level Forest, so an axe might be required beyond access to Level Forest as well. Megas Inventory. So those bombs that they didn't have while going through Pazuzu's tower and had to leave several checks behind, showing up in somewhere else. So we'll see if they return or just move on.
If you can get to the bomb door quickly, because there were 2 red boxes there, then you do it. But if you can't get there quickly, then
I feel like that bomb door was not super far in. So I'm curious to see if they'll make that choice to go back.
Looks like 10 is going to take on the squid here without a save as well. This is a very interesting choice.
Yep, gonna use those megas and hope it does enough to make short work of it, I think. That's That's not great.
No, we don't have a meteor charge either. So that paralysis, not on one but both characters.
Oh,
The
no.
ads absolutely doing 10 in here.
Yeah, Benjamin unparalyzed, gonna finally start be able to attack. But yeah, not the script Tin wanted to see on Squid-Eye for sure.
Looks like Ultimastrike is done with the Foresta area. Picked up an Apollo Helm, a Thunder Rock, the Excalibur. So a lot of good pickups there. Just
no.
jumbo bombs from the Squid, which is really not what you
Oh.
want to see.
No, especially not since Megas were right there. Yeah, that's pretty rude. Good job, Seed. It does like to do that, I feel like, quite often.
Yeah, so definitely a big early advantage here for Ultimastrike. I would say probably up the better part of 90 seconds through this first chunk of gameplay here. I wonder if 10 is going to feel that and, fighting that Squid, having that bad RNG, maybe look to like go back to Pazuzu's tower for the bomb door rather than just get out of here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Ultimastrike hitting up False Basin, which I think is interesting, and unfortunately there's a pretty mean fight blocking the pillar movement. Yeah, rude gargoyles. Or imps, or abizards, I guess, is what they're called. I would never have guessed that in ever. Oh, it's in Kaylee's house in Foresta Town. Okay. So both runners with that Dragon Claw hint available to them is interesting.
Now, it looks like 10 says, I'm good. I'm not going back into Pazuzu's tower. Keeps this Tristram. This is interesting to me because this Tristram doesn't get exit. We're only 3 levels away. So I'm a little surprised here that we have opted not to get the Phoebe, given that we're going to be getting a fair chunk of levels.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting choice. There are no towns up here, so probably not gonna... The Rope Bridge could be up here, I guess, if we haven't seen that, which could have a companion on it, but... oh, Tin gonna run into the same blocker that Ultima did. Ultima took a wipe to it, it was pretty mean, and just decided to move on, which I think is a smart choice. When False Basin only having 2 boxes in it, tends to get faded, for understandable reasons, I think.
Yeah, 10 did go and set up the 3-pillar option, though, so is going to be able to navigate around without having to fight that. The 2-pillar option, you're stuck, but the 3-pillar you can make work. So it looks like 10 is going to opt to fight the crab as well, and Ultimastrike finds a live forest. Don't have an axe yet, so can't do much there, and is going back to Falls Basin. We'll see if they opt to go for the 3-pillar strategy. No. Is leaving Falls Basin again.
Yep. I wonder if he doesn't know the 3-pillar strat. It doesn't get used a lot in these flags, and being a newer runner, may not have had a reason to use it before. Since you do generally, if you're going into Falls Basin, you want to check that back chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are perfectly fine for that.
Looks like we got Noble Armor for both runners as well, which is not really great. Or excuse me, Noble Armor was from the Snow Crab, I believe, so not for both runners. We have Liber Temple here. Looks like 10 is opening a lot of brown boxes as well. This is a big difference between the 2 runners also, is that we've had basically no brown boxes open by Ultima and a bunch by 10. We're also very slim on what we can do here. That bomb door in Pazuzu's tower is looking like it might need to be opened, or we might need to fight Medusa.
Well, Lava Dome's right here.
So Lava Dome. I completely missed Lava Dome.
The runners both, I'm surprised, honestly, that neither runner just went in there with bombs, a claw, and a sword, Especially, I think we both had megas by the time we got there. So Lava Dome fully completable no matter what the configuration with what the runners have available to them. But there were a lot of blue dots. You want to know what those are. I certainly understand that. So making the choices to go clear them out first before heading to Lava Dome, but not really rewarded for the time.
Also worth noting, we're only at 2 fragments, which is not great.
No, and this is a 27 shard seed. So, yeah, that is exciting. We did see a live forest here, so if an axe shows up, you know, that's a lot of checks in the vicinity, but we're looking at probably a longer seed. Certainly going to need another coin, perhaps, to get anywhere.
And apparently there's Confuse as well hanging out in this fight that we didn't get to see on 10's side. I think one of the big differences here, and this is very astute from Artea pointing this out, that the reason that 10 likely is keeping Tristram and is going into this Lava Dome now and saying, well, Exit's neat, but, like, what's my damage?
Yep.
If I don't have this Tristram, I don't have damage. That Phoebe doesn't get Meteor till 16, and I'm relying on Blizzard at level 13. Like, it makes sense that these first couple fights in Lava Dome until we get to level 16 on Ultimastrike's side are going to be real rough. So, like, I get it from both runners' perspectives now. I didn't get it at first as to why 10 was keeping Tristram, but it makes sense now.
Yeah, Phoebe, he's very astute, keeping track of the fact that Phoebe's not going to be able to do much for him for quite some time. Whereas Tristram, useful now. Although at this point, right now, his Phoebe would have Meteor, and Exit. So this Lava Dome, you know, having to walk all the way back out of it, we'll see. But yeah, definitely making up ground with these early fights.
Yeah, we'll go back at some point, I imagine, to Foresta and likely swap out. But for the time being, this Tristram also is going to be faster in Lava Dome. And looks like to that point, even we're taking optional fights to get more levels. Or maybe duping. I'm not exactly certain what we were looking to do there. Maybe just took that fight by accident.
Maybe, yeah. Or it could have duped as well, yeah. Ken always keeping those encounters in mind for chances to dupe on.
I think may have accidentally duped a refresher, even 10 being a vanilla runner is very used to items in set locations and always has their seeds in slot 4. So it may have been a situation where they were looking to go through and, you know, take care of that, but they might have, you know, gotten refreshers instead of seeds.
Yeah, not particularly useful, unfortunately, those refreshers. Boy, we're seeing a lot of confusion come out of the enemies in this seed so far. Seeing another confused character on Ultimastrike's side. Cupid Locket sure would be nice, wouldn't it?
It sure would, in almost every seed ever. It is worth noting that 10 had an encounter there where he threw a Meteor with Tristram and it didn't kill everything. My assumption is that when Ultimastrike runs into that same encounter, if they have to take it, their Phoebe's going to one-shot. And that is going to start to be the difference on a lot of these fights, is that my expectation would be there's nothing Phoebe's not going to one-shot if it's unresisted Meteor or weak to Meteor, whereas Tristram might not one-shot everything with his Meteor.
It's a very good point, that small difference in stats, you know, especially with the enemies potentially rolling higher HP amounts. Yeah, coming in handy.
All things considered, though, a good chunk of shards in here. We're up to 8. Now, we do need 27, so, you know, we're nowhere near the finish line yet. But it's one of those where it at least makes you think, like, hey, I'm doing all right now. Because we were at, like, 2 shards for our runners at, like, 10 or 11 minutes. So,
yeah,
like, that feels horrible on a 27 shard seed.
Yeah, you really want to get some in your pocket early rather than having them all be late, because then you know you're just dragging the seed out and doing so much more, and the opportunity for your opponent to get ahead of you at that point, I feel like, always feels stronger. You know, the longer these particular flags go, the less confident I am that I'm ahead in any way.
Yeah, and I think it was this fight where they lived through the Meteor for Tristram and do not for Phoebe. Oh no, it is not this fight, because we're both in the same room, just kidding. But we'll get to find out if that's the case anyway, like right now.
Yeah. For science. It still did. That was a noticeable HP difference, though, in the amount of damage done by Tristram to Phoebe. So, yeah, I can see why that would be the case in certain situations, for sure. It was over 600 damage out of Phoebe and just over 500 for Tristram.
Yeah, Tristram's fast. Phoebe's not as fast, but Phoebe hits like a freaking truck with her spells. She does not mess around. That girl got all the magic power in this here video game.
Yeah, one of the reasons I feel like we're always looking for her to have something useful to bring to Dark King, because, you know, being able to make that fight short, or especially feel like even more so in the refights in these flags. Because being able to chew through the HP that the and Wyvern have, just, you know, gonna get you that much further ahead.
Looks like we're gonna save here from 10. I think he might be going back to fight Hydra.
Yep. Maybe just peeking. We'll see if there's a reset. Or, I mean, you can peek and see if Hydra's mean. We did pick up a Moon Helm along the way. Oh, we already have Apollo Helm, so Moon Helm's kind of irrelevant there.
Yeah, we also have double Meteor, so I mean, it's not like we don't have damage here. And this is going to open up, since we're already in Fireberg, whatever that locked tile was, which I'm not going to lie, I have no clue what it is.
Same, yeah. Despite having played these and Mystic Quest in general randomizers, and know that keeping an eye on that tile is important, yeah, did not catch what that was. But I would not be surprised if 10 did, and is doing this deliberately. Did see that ice pyramid there last seed, and made the call to unlock that.
And it is part of logic, you know, this tile being behind Hydra is part of the game. And, you know, we kind of talked about this pre-Lava Dome, that our runners, what did they have left? It was like a couple things, the Bomb Door and Pazuzu's Tower and Medusa. Well, fast forward, after doing all of Lava Dome, we're in that situation again.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. We have no crests. We have no coins. You know, this is very interesting.
It's gonna be the bombs in Pazuzu or Hydra here somewhere. Unlocking some extra access, which is always great. I love when the seed does that. And it's not Bone Dungeon, but it is a blue dot. So if that's level forest, there's potential progression there. What do we got? Yep, level forest it is. But no red box in the one chest we have access to. So Ultimastrike back to Pazuzu's Tower, gonna go right for those bomb locked boxes, I imagine. Wow. All of Lava Dome and no progression. And there it is.
Sand coin.
Wow. Just immediate payoff there. There's still 2 more red boxes in Pazuzu's Tower, I believe, on floor 1. Wherever that, you know, is accessible from. But Ultimastrike not going to spend the time there now and just go off to the Aquaria region. So we'll give Ken the opportunity to pick Phoebe back up.
Yeah.
Or pick Phoebe up, which it looks like is what he's going to do.
Which makes sense. She does more damage. She has exit. And to Artea's point as well in chat, another reason you go through Hydra is not having the exit. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep, and there we saw where Tristram went was Kaylee's home, and that known Dragon Claw showing up in Kaylee's house.
We saw 10 just walk by the door with the sand coin and exits out without the sand coin.
Is it that quick to get to that you can just bop back in rather than retrace?
Well, I mean, he was like one... Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Super fast, luckily. Oh, there's Kaylee. Kaylee's not bad either. Exit and Meteor as well, and that Petrify resist could, you know, be useful, but...
I think the cure spell on Phoebe honestly puts her over the top. It might seem minor to the untrained eye, but like being able to triage two party members at once with one action as opposed to needing to dedicate life repeatedly is a big deal.
Well, that's smart. Uh, got the Thunder Rock being used. Oh, and hiding exit beneath it. So we gotta see both. We've seen Wakewater turned in. A lot of areas open now. Aside from that Suncoin
Ooh,
region.
flare as well.
Yeah, Windy having some nice stuff today. The town's having a lot of good items right now.
Now here's the big rub on things though, right? Is that we've completed this Hydra on 10 side. As soon as he finds an axe, he's going to be able to just hop right over and check that level forest. Where Ultimastrike, if there's value in that level forest, is gonna have to do some work.
Well, no, not with, because they've already turned in Wakewater.
Oh, they have the Wakewater. Yeah, never mind.
So yeah, easy breezy. We've got Bone Dungeon back there. And just heading straight in. Makes sense. 11 shards already. Yeah, it was slow going at the beginning, but they're coming rapidly now. And to be honest, there's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff out there for the runners still. But with that Aegis Shield pickup, one less thing even that they're looking to actually get outside of shards.
Yeah, basically at this point, you want, from what we've seen, you want the life spell, you want any axe, you want the Aegis Shield, and you want the Cupid Locket. That's it.
Yep.
Like, spells, sure, you want spells, but at the same time, worst case scenario, Phoebe just does all your damage for you, and that's fine.
Yep. Yeah, Phoebe's strong enough to just handle most things. Skullerus with 2 boxes. Tin making some interesting choices routing through Bone Dungeon. Decided not to go through the like vanilla sort of Tristram unlock entrance and going while he had the 3 mouth areas open and sort of checking each one out, which I've seen a couple other runners do during the tournament. With the exit, I never know how to handle that, because you're probably going to exit out no matter where you go, so you might as well go in order, but it could work out that you're at least getting to the red boxes a little faster.
Yeah, definitely true. I guess the big difference right now, Ultimastrike has picked up that flare spell as well on Benjamin. So from Ultima's side, and I think Ten will get this too, but Ultima's basically ready to go damage-wise. Since fire is rolling off of bomb, it's going to be unresisted by everything. So you basically have just, free fire for the entirety of the fight, or the fights on your main character, and then Phoebe doing Phoebe things and making angry Phoebe noises on her end.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we're already at the level we were when we were heading into Doom Castle last seed. So certainly not lacking any sort of power. And we see that Sun Coin. So everything in the whole seed open to both runners with that. Outside of axe stuff, I guess. Still no axe. But all the
we do have an axe in Ice Pyramid.
Oh,
on Ultima's side.
Okay, that could be a big deal, but we see the mirror on Tin's side. Which would you rather have?
The axe.
But you had to go into Mirrorless Ice Pyramid to get it, so was it really worth it?
Probably. Although these birds are being jerks on Ultima's side, they decided to do bad things to Phoebe. Is able to get through this fight, though, thankfully.
Luckily, we've got the Mega Grenades to do some damage. Yeah, jerk birds being jerks. Very Mystic Quest thing in general, I feel like.
Very video game thing. As we all know, birds are jerks in almost every game.
This is true.
Also worth noting, the Sun Coin comes out of Ice Pyramid. We have 0 crests still to this point, which is very unusual this far in.
Yeah. We see 2 axes in Ice Pyramid there.
And the Aegis Shield.
Yeah, Ice Pyramid with some value right now. And a decent amount of other red boxes too. I'm not sure how many side paths paid off fully, but we're about to really hit some of the denser spots here with the pass and the fall down. So 10 up Bone Dungeon over Ice pretty much right now.
Yeah, that mirror will help claw back a little bit of time as he goes. Also not having to wait for the tiles shaking from killing the Hydra. And if we ever have to go back over to the Fireberg area, which I believe a live forest is over there, that will save 10 a little bit of time getting back to Fireberg. So I think this is still very, very close. Much closer than the first race, which was already close.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been keeping the best eye on respective shard counts, but we're certainly getting more now that the early game has passed. Okay, so 14 for Ultimastrike.
Bone Dungeon had a fair few shards in it. I think 10 is a couple ahead on that.
Giving the box a little smooch there a couple times before opening it, hoping for some good luck. Gets a Sun Coin. Hey, Ice Golem has a red chest. Goodbye, Ice Golem.
Ice Golem also gives a free heal. Basically a party-wide mega elixir, if you will, from other games. So that is a nice thing to get. Granted, we have plenty of seeds this time around, so it's not that big a deal, but still. And 10 is at 18 shards, so it is a 4 shard difference at the moment. The majority of that is Bone Dungeon, and I think also the +1 that came out of Pazuzu's Tower as well.
That makes sense, yes, when 10 went down and got those other 2 boxes there, yep. So we'll see how close it gets, yeah, once Ultimastrike gets through this. What we saw was a pretty good Bone Dungeon as far as what shards it had in it. It didn't have a lot else, but...
And I like this from Ultimastrike. I think the way he's going to route this is he's going to clear out all of Bone Dungeon, then wait to come back to that last box on the left instead of running around to get it now. So he's going to save a little bit of time exiting out, running back in, running out, as opposed to walking and jumping and climbing and doing all like the parkour stuff in Bone Dungeon. So a little bit of a time save on his end as well, which seconds matter in this flag set, as we have seen time and time again.
Yeah, definitely. Smart to know, you know, there's no enemy on path from the front door to that box, but there was one blocking your normal path, and then the sand jumping, you know, being slower than just moving forward.
And Ultimastrike getting the mirror. Likely not thrilled about that, but, you know, it is what it is. 10 was able to avoid 2 or 3 encounters on the way as well, courtesy of that mirror. So it was able to claw back a little bit of time also. And we do see Ultimastrike coming back in, is at 18 fragments. And I think has a couple other places to go here still. So it makes sense to exit out, come on back in. 10 is at 21 fragments and is throwing a life spell out. So fire rolled to holy. And because the Ice Golem is fire weak in vanilla, it is now life weak as long as you are a higher level. So 10 able to just one-shot the Ice Golem there.
That was very nice to see. I did not expect that interaction. I love those sort of technical plays where you can really leverage the resist shuffle to full benefit there. Very nice.
And so 10 up to, I believe it's 22 shards now. Yeah, 22 there. I think Ultima's at 18.
I think Ultima missed the one that 10 just picked up back on the floor beneath Ice Golem, because I think Ultima exited after beating Ice Golem and picking up that red chest. So
I thought he did the drop down then exited, but
maybe
you may be correct.
certainly I know I've never exited immediately after beating Ice Golem and finding something nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Not
Has
ever.
never been a thing that's happened. So 10 is, I think, basically caught up at this point and is going to have easier access back to the Fireberg region. So I think, despite the early maybe trials and tribulations, the difference here is going to be like Ultima's first 2-level forest, but if we end up needing to go over to a live forest, we see that 10 is going to pick up some time because they won't have to basically circumnavigate the globe like Ferdinand Magellan in the 1500s. He's just going to be able to take the shortcut right through.
Yep. Yeah, and we see right now Ultimastrike exiting, probably going to go right back to that Alive Forest, or we do have that Sun Coin that was picked up, so
True.
Might see a direction head over that way. We will see.
Yeah, with no crest, we're not even bothering to peek yet, which it
happens.
happens.
I've never seen a seed. I wanted to wait till that box was open. Go this long without a crest picked up. I feel like, especially with crest shuffle and the expert logic, you see it more often than you don't, right? So very interesting. Having
25.
Yeah, getting there very quickly here with the tree. Pretty dense area. Lots of tree chopping and clawing and sorting necessary to get around, but a lot of good boxes. Boxes all over the place. I gotta say, I really love the music in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. It is some of the best out there. Some of these dungeons, like Alive Tree and Lava Dome, fantastic to listen to the tunes repeatedly as the runners navigate through. And yeah, we're getting very close now. One away on 10 side. Shouldn't be much behind that at this point on Ultima side. Quickly catching up here. It's so close. At this point, yeah, 25. So I think is one behind, or we'll be right in lockstep with 10, getting go mode here, and pretty evenly equipped across the board for both runners. There might be a small seed difference, but unless it's critical number of seeds, it's not going to play too big a role in the refights.
And 10 has his 28 shards. This is actually awkward for 10 in a sense because there were 2 shards in that one room, which means that Ultimastrike is going to get their 27 at the same time. They're going to get 26 and 27. So this is actually a good little catch-up mechanic for Ultimastrike, that they're going to just be able to pop, out of this here room into the next room. And 10 is also taking an extra fight. Likely trying to get Phoebe to level 23. The importance of that being that at level 23 she picks up paralysis resist. She also picks up the, I think maybe another resist or 2, but it's going to be very, very close now between these runners. Probably seconds apart by the time they actually get to the refights proper, because 10 is going to be in this fight. Ultima's going to be just, flying past. They're one fight apart. They're equal level, so Ultima doesn't need that extra fight. So as soon as this one is done, they're neck and neck on this race.
That's awesome to see. The kind of what we all hope for, right? Very close races. Either way, we don't have a Cupid locket for either runner, so confusion could be a problem in some of these refights and the DK fight, but we're about to see right now. at the first of the fights.
Yeah, in this particular fight, you can Dragon Claw, or, since everything just kind of dies anyway, just throw out some Earth, and you'll be good. The neat part about it is the Skullorus is weak to Meteor, weak to Earth, so Phoebe's going to do heckin' good damage here.
Love to see numbers like that so much.
Ultimastrike's let me exit it, though, as the Skullorus stands back up on Pen's side.
I've never seen that. That's fantastic. Decided he wasn't quite so wounded after all.
I would imagine we're going to see exit on the Stone Golem here. Fire rolled to Holy, so technically we could go for life strats, but yeah, I think we're just going to see exit on Stone Golem, Meteor from Phoebe on both, and just kind of carry on from there. Unless Phoebe gets paralyzed, that is unfortunate on Ultimastrike's side. 10 also sees their Benjamin fall over, so 10 takes a wipe here.
And Phoebe, yeah, goodness. Not a very nice Stone Golem fight there.
No, so small advantage here to Ultimastrike has actually pulled back ahead. We shall see how these rest of the refights go.
Yeah,
Ultimastrike now basically up a full fight.
Very exciting.
Air roll to water, water roll to projectile, so not going to play a factor in this fight. Holy to earth doesn't matter, bomb to fire doesn't matter. So this is just going to be biggest spell go burr in this particular set of fights with the Hydra.
I like those kind of fights. Just, unleash your big spells. Don't have to worry about the shuffle quite so much. Just let it rip and see what the boss decides to do. How mean they'll be.
And Ultimastrike through the Hydra, so we're going to be on to Zuh first. And we haven't even talked about it, but the always present Farfaloo awaits the runners in the finals. Farfaloo not yet dropped a game in the tournament.
Yeah.
Just Farfaloo doing Farfaloo things. Awaits these runners.
Yeah, whoever wins doesn't have an easy road to champion this season at all. Farfaloo, very, very skilled runner, has been playing Mystic Quest for quite some time. And yeah. And was last year's champion? Is that correct? Or
sure was. Beat me on their way in the round of 8. So
yeah, hoping to
first-hand experience.
Keep his title.
But back to this one, both runners are on Zuh. This is a pretty punchy Zuh, all things considered.
Yep, a little revisiting from the last seed. Zuh not playing around. Able to dish out some big numbers, even with some weird randomized attacks because of the way scaling works.
And Phoebe does not get the cure off first on Ultima's side, so we are going to see probably an extra life cast here come out. Both runners have the posing bird. Paint me like one of your French birds. We'll see who is able to get through first.
I always think of the George Costanza painting from Seinfeld when I see this post from Zuh.
Crit on Ben drops him for 10. And Ultimastrike is going to be our first runner through to Dark King. A big hit on Phoebe there as well, 676 from Zuh. So the Zuh not going down without a fight. Phoebe is down. 10 needs to get this bird off the screen immediately, or this is going to be bad news. YOLO strats activated. YOLO strats confirmed. So we're going to be about 20 seconds difference getting into Dark King, I reckon. Ultimastrike with the lead. So how will Dark King treat our runners, as they are the same on gear? So this is just purely RNG at this point.
Yeah, same level, same gear, same companions. Saw a pretty big hit there out of phase 1 already on Ultimate's side, but not enough to one-shot anybody, so easy to recover from and see what else Dark King's going to do.
Yeah, Phoebe being just below half health is very awkward as well. And both runners, it is worth noting, they don't have life. So because Phoebe took more than 50% of her health, we have to go defense strats on Ultimastrike's side right away and save the queen. So that is very awkward. But we do see tier 3 already. Green Kaylee has made an appearance.
That tier 3 happened to Ultimastrike for the second seed in a row, triggered by a drain move off of DK. Rather than the damage threshold being hit. So very interesting to see that. Always, I think, makes it interesting. If phase 3 is nice, that could be a boon. But if phase 3 is meaner than phase 2, maybe it could, cost some time. It's interesting to see how that works out.
And Green Kaylee does have a paralysis attack, so getting to level 23, it was very important for this for this Phoebe to resist that. So very, very big for the runners. There it is on 10 side showing up just as it did on Ultima's. Damage coming out, this seems to be a pretty thick tier 3, all things considered. This Green Kaylee is not transforming.
Yep, not leveling up to her final form just yet. Lots of damage going out too.
And here we go again with Phoebe being dropped just below 50%, so we're going to have to play it safe. Like simultaneous, basically, tier 4s, but 10 in a better HP position and is not getting those 500 damage swings on Phoebe like we've seen on Ultimastrike multiple times.
Yeah, a little bit of RNG there, being able to just flow into the final phase, dishing out damage without having to do a little bit of triage first.
And looks like we have a lot of spells come out. 10, I think, is our first finisher in this one. 44-54, I believe, the official time. Yes, and so does take game 2 off of Ultimastrike here. We have confusion on Benjamin as well, but not going to matter. Wow, 16 seconds difference. Really, the Dark King fight being the big difference there. Wow. Yeah, let's see if we can get both of these guys in for an interview.
Yeah, exciting. We're going to get a game 3. Not tonight. I believe it's going to be later this week, but very, very exciting. We'll see if we can get them in here to discuss what a fantastic series and what a super close game 2 this was.
So thinking kind of similarly.
We have 10 who is here and Ultimastrike who is bouncing around. Okay, I think we have both of these fine lads in voice with us. GG's to both of you. Ultimastrike, fantastically done game 1. Both of y'all, what a game 2. Yeah, GG's to both. And just initial thoughts on things as we now head to a game 3 tomorrow.
Initial thoughts are, I don't know if I can take much more of this. The stress, the good stress. Oh my gosh. After game 1, I had very low hopes because Ultimastrike is such a good runner and he's been just killing anybody he comes across. And just seeing that I finished first was a huge relief. And then seeing him finish 17 seconds later, I was like, oh my goodness! Like one wrong thing, and it's the other way around. So it sounds like between what Ultimate and I had been talking about, I just got really lucky and he got really unlucky. So that's kind of my brand of winning.
And Ultima, your thoughts so far in the series?
Every one of my games has been game 3. Every single one. I always like to run it back. Because I know, like, the first two matches I had with Artea and Fried Potato here, I took it back 1-2. But I'm going to give 10 a run for his money in game 3. He got lucky this time, for sure. Because it's a matter of just what you find. Because we were looking at P-Tower, both of us, early, surprisingly. Because whoever done Wintry Cave first just literally wins the seed outright. Because that's an easy route with Megas.
Well, here's the neat part. It was neither of you in this one. So it turned out to be really good for everyone involved that wasn't the two of y'all. We loved it on Restream. We loved it in the commentary booth, etc. I will say, there is a movie, The Greatest Showman, that was made about P.T. Barnum. Ultimastrike, you are the greatest showman in Mystic Quest right now, taking all of these matches to Game 3. And for that, we appreciate you, because more Mystic Quest is the best Mystic Quest.
I don't exactly think of myself as a showman necessarily, but
Well, you have more screen time than anyone else this tournament, so by default, you are.
well,
It's been fantastic to watch. This race was back and forth the entire way. There were points where one of you was slightly, quote unquote, ahead, and then that would flip because of choices. So very, very exciting and interesting match to watch. A great showcase from both of you. A 16-second difference. And it really wasn't any bigger than that, I felt like, through most of the seed. I definitely recommend to watch back because it's an exciting one.
yeah. I still kind of hate that Megas were literally right there in Spear 1. I always have made it a habit, but since I was playing 10, I was trying to place a little bit different because he's really good.
Yeah, it was certainly something to see, both of you clear that P tower out as much as you could, and then almost immediately afterwards find some bombs to get to those boxes that you didn't have access to. But certainly with the coin already in hand and some decent companion options, it makes a lot of sense to push on and see what the rest of the seed has to give you.
Yeah, I got to look at that as maybe a learning opportunity. It's like I knew that the red chests behind the bomb walls were early in P Tower, so I in retrospect obviously should have gone back the second I got the bombs, and that would have maybe nudged me a different direction. But at the same time, for like 90% of this seed, all I could think of, Ultima definitely went Wintry Cave. He's had bombs for 30 minutes. I am screwed. So I just had to keep doing what I thought were strange decisions or things I think that Ultima wouldn't do necessarily in that order. Turns out we were both doing exactly the same thing, thinking the same thing about the other person. So it works out in the end.
Yeah, that's one thing I. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the dirty word, metagaming. Playing your opponent, playing what you think their habits and tendencies would be instead of playing your game. Sometimes it works out wonderfully. Again, in this particular seed, for us, it worked out wonderfully, but for y'all, it caused a lot of headaches and stress. Go ahead. Sorry, Ultima.
One thing I'm going to say, my opponents are starting to think the same, and as you said, it's like metagaming, but like Game 3, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to doubt myself anymore. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, if there's one person in this tournament that shouldn't be doubting themselves, it's you. You've proved yourself against like the best of the best so far, it feels like. And even like before the tournament, you and I doing races all the time on streams and stuff, you kick my butt every time. It seemed like at the end of the last few months. And I've mentioned it quite a few times during commentary for your races, man. You're gotten so good so fast, and I don't know. You just got to get that confidence that you're doing the right thing. And I lose tomorrow for sure. That happens.
Well, either way, one of us does have to beat Farfelu.
That's true.
He has been 2-0ing people quite a bit in the bracket.
Yep. Farfelu has not yet lost a game in the tournament because Farfelu is doing Farfelu things. But y'all have a game 3 tomorrow at, 9:10 Eastern, I believe?
I believe so, yes.
That's got to get done before anyone can think ahead. So any final thoughts on the seeds so far, the matches so far. The matches tonight. What's coming up tomorrow? Anyone want to talk some smack? I always try to get this out of folks, and they never give me anything. Ultimastrike, we'll start with you. Anything you want to add before we let you gentlemen enjoy the rest of your evenings?
Well, first of all, I want to at least thank the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest community and this randomizer, and especially Wildham for making this, because Final Fantasy Mystic Quest has been one of my childhood games. When I was going to randomizers, I'm glad this got a randomizer, and how simple it is to learn it, even if you just play a vanilla game. Going against opponents like Artea, Potato, even watching and commentating for some of the others. I think I commentated one game Tim was in as well. But just seeing everybody just run this tournament and just put out some amazing times. It's impressive to watch. And honestly, I'm thinking about going back tomorrow while I'm at work and looking over some of those VODs just to get in the right mental state.
That definitely makes sense to get that last minute prep in, see if you can pick up anything that might not have been come across yet. And we certainly wish you the best of luck tomorrow. 10, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, sure. I'll give my thanks as well. Potato, Possum, thanks for commentary. Ooh, I don't know who ended up tracking tonight, but thank you, whoever that was.
Welcome.
Thank you, Wildham. Appreciate you for more than one. I feel like I've said thank you to Wildham more than I've said thank you to any other human being in the last year, just from Mystic Quest. Thank you also to Speedgaming and Possum. I'll give you what you want. Ultimately, you're going down there. Tomorrow, game 3 is 10s.
You know what, 10? I'm going to make you count down from 10 all the way to 0.
Oh, no.
And
Okay. All right.
What's more, I bet you, game 3, DK is going to be mean. We're going to see that equalizer. You and me.
Let's
you,
do
me,
it.
and that guy.
All
Let me
right,
see some equalizer work.
So it sounds like we have 10 doing a Hulk Hogan impression. We have Ultimastrike basically being Paul Bearer and listing Undertaker to take on, as Dark King in this upcoming match. So game 3 tomorrow, 9:10 Eastern. Y'all better be here because it sounds like it's going to be quite the barn burner. Again, thank you to everyone involved. Speed Gaming for letting us use their channels to host this here tournament. Wildem for the tracking, the development, etc. with Mystic Quest. Nobody can ever say thank you enough to Wildem. Potato for keeping me honest in comms. Everyone out there for enjoying the Mystic Quest. 10 and Ultima, of course, for putting on 2 heckin' amazing races. Potato, take us home, buddy.
Second, third, fourth, all those thanks. Everybody participating in the tournament, putting together the flags, putting together the restreams, and you all, the viewers, for tuning in to support your favorites or the community in general. We always love it. Couldn't do it without you. Stay tuned. If you're in the Discord, you'll find out where we're streaming the final semifinal match tomorrow night, 9:10 p.m. Eastern. But other than that, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you all next time.